Hey there, beer friends. How's it going? It's been a while since I have done a beer review video and beer tasting. So I wanted to jump on here quick and do one for you because this beer's been sitting in my fridge for months now. It's a beer that I don't necessarily struggle with, but you might because you don't see it very often. I don't think you would see it on tap very much. And I know in Canada, it seems like we can't purchase it at the liquor store. So without further ado, Guinness for an Extra Stout. So you might have heard of Guinness Extra Stout, which is like the Irish version. This is the foreign Extra Stout. And what makes it a little different is that it was supposed to be more hopped than the regular stout, and then the ABV is a little bit higher, so it could make the trip across the ocean to wherever it was going, probably the Caribbean. But basically, it's made just for export. So I'm not even sure if you can get this in Ireland, but you probably can at the Guinness factory. Anyway, so this is one of the ones I talked about in my last video because it's not like a really obscure style, but you don't see it very often. So there's like at least one or two keywords that when they come up, to me, it says that this is the beer that they're asking about. So without further ado, let's open this bad boy. Typically you would drink it in like a snifter glass because it is a little bit higher ABV. This one is 7.5%, but I don't have a snifter glass. You could also do a tulip pint, which I also don't have. So I'm gonna use whatever we call this. I'm not 100% sure. All right. I actually brought this back with me from my vacation because I wanted to do a video on it and I didn't think that I could get it where I lived. So I'm glad I did that. All right. So here we go. Don't have the best lighting in here today, but you might be able to see it looks similar to a Guinness. However, it's not like a standard Guinness draft, which is poured on a nitrogen system. So usually when you get a Guinness and they, it takes them a long time to pour it and they have to do it in like steps, and then you get like that really thick, creamy head. That's because it's using nitrogen gas to push the beer. So this is obviously not the same. So this is just carbonation. So it's not gonna have that really thick head. But let's give it a smell. I feel like the first thing I smell is chocolate and molasses. So let's give it a taste. I'm really sorry about my hair. It's been a journey the last few weeks, let me tell you. It's pretty bitter, but it's like sweet too. Like at the end, there's a little bit of sweetness. So I actually really like that. I think it balances really well. And it's not, it's not super like syrupy or thick. A lot of times people think that dark beer is like heavy or thick or like viscous. And even with regular Guinness, it's got that thick, creamy head of foam. So people think, oh, it's like really gonna be like chewy, but regular, just standard Guinness is only about 4% and it's very light in body. So it's like, it's almost kind of thin when you drink it. I actually find it to be a little watery. I don't really care for it. This one's a little bit heavier than that. That's really nice. So I don't have my note cards with me today, but what I do have is my BJCP app. And this is something, if you're studying for Cicerone or your BJCP judges test, or you just want to learn about beer in general, this is a great app to have. There's a couple. The one I have is just called Beer Styles, and I'm gonna try and hold it up here. It's just this little app icon. It's a pint glass with a mustache. So that's the one I've got. And that one's really nice because it's got BJCP beer styles and Brewers Association beer styles. And they're actually slightly different. And the Brewers Association updates their style guidelines more frequently. So they actually have an update as of 2024, whereas BJCP only goes back to either 2021 or 2015. So they're a bit older. But with this app, they also have cider styles and mead. So it's really cool. You can learn about all sorts of different styles of alcoholic beverages. But there is also a BJCP app that you can get through the BJCP and download that. So basically what you do is you open it and then you'll type in the beer that you're looking for, and it'll give you all of the info. It usually gives you like a little history. It gives you all the stats. It gives you like the ingredients that are usually used, things like that. So it's very handy. Normally I would be like trying to test myself and try to remember the stats and then compare it to my note cards, but I don't have my note cards with me. So anyway, but basically the aroma is gonna be like coffee or dark chocolate. So that's spot on. Here's the keywords that I always think about when I think of this beer. So molasses or licorice. Now, I don't know if I've ever eaten black licorice. I don't know that I care to eat black licorice, but that is one of those ingredients or flavors that you can get sometimes with this type of beer. And so anytime you read a question that has that phrase in it, you know, like black licorice, it's probably talking about this style. So I did actually have a question on my test regarding this style, and I won't tell you what the question was, but basically, like, because of a few different keywords, I knew that that was the answer. And again, like I said, it's kind of an obscure beer style. I don't think you would like go into any random restaurant and find it like on draft. So I was really proud of myself that I remembered that. But basically, low earthy herbal or floral hop aroma, very deep brown to black in color, and it should be clear. So obviously this is dark, it's hard to see through, but if you were to like shine a light through it, it would be, you would be able to see through it. It wouldn't be like cloudy or opaque at all. It should be clear. What else? There may be some alcohol warming, and that's like when you drink it, that's from the higher ABV, and that of course depends on the type of beer that you're drinking. So I don't get that from this one, but again, 7.5% isn't super high. So it was first brewed by Guinness in 1801, and again, it was more for export, so it could make the journey to wherever it was going. So usually higher hopped, higher ABV. There is another version of this as well that's called a tropical stout, and that's a little bit different, but it's the same idea where it was made for export to like tropical countries. So let's see. Basically, if you're comparing it to an Irish extra stout, which would be maybe like a higher ABV stout, like a double, it's very similar, but this has more alcohol, so it's like, okay, that makes sense. And it's got similar gravity to a tropical stout, but it's drier and has a more bitter finish, and that's because tropical stouts are a little bit sweeter, so it's not gonna taste as dry or as bitter. So the basic stats for this are ABV is 6.3 to 8.0%, so we're like right in the range there. And some basic examples are Cooper's, which is from Australia, Guinness, which we have, what else? And there's a few other ones I've never even heard of, so I don't think it's very prevalent. So Ridgway Foreign Export and Pelican Tsunami Export Stout. So there you go. I think this would be maybe like a situation where if they poured this beer, say in like a tasting exam, they would pour this with like, I don't know, maybe like a Schwartz beer, or maybe even like a Munich Dunkel, and you'd have to compare the colors and the aroma and the flavor and, you know, decide what kind of beer this is. It's a very tasty beer. So I definitely would recommend, if you can find this somewhere near you, try it out. If not, you can look for Irish Export Stout, which is similar, or maybe even just like a higher ABV Irish Stout. You could try a Guinness as well, but again, that's going to be a little bit different. It's going to be lighter. It's going to be lighter ABV, lighter body, kind of like a whole different guideline completely. So yeah, I just wanted to introduce you to this because it's been sitting in my fridge forever. I feel like I need to drink it. Otherwise, I don't know why I brought it back with me. But yeah, it's a really tasty beer. I would probably, since I don't really like Guinness, like regular Guinness a lot, I would probably drink this over that if I could find it. So cheers. I hope you learned a little bit about foreign extra stout today, and see you next time.